Are you a wealth architect? That's somebody who wants to grow in all areas of life, not only financially, but mentally, physically, and spiritually. This is exactly what we're doing every single week on this show. I'm Emilio Despirito, your host of the Wealth Architect podcast, each and every week here. Wherever you're tuning in, we're glad you're here. We hope that this episode inspires you, motivates you to do something big, and maybe even blows your mind. Make sure you comment and interact with us. We love to hear from you. Let's get started. A special thank you to our sponsor, Annie Mac Home Mortgage, whose Cash to Keys product is disrupting the industry. Sick and tired of finding the perfect home, not having your offer selected? I got to tell you, it happens all the time. With Cash to Keys, Annie Mac gives sellers a cash guarantee for each of their buyers' offers. Stop bidding and hoping. Instead, bid with Annie Mac and bid with confidence. Don't just bid, but win. Annie Mac Mortgage. When you're buying real estate, you need somebody that understands the ins and outs of the legal ends. It's so important to have the right attorney working for you. You also need a bulldog. Let me tell you something. The first time I sat in a conference room with this lady, Melissa Delana of Delana Law, I immediately knew she owned the room. You need an attorney that owns the room, that can solve problems and make things happen when everybody else can't. You want to hire Delana Law in Massachusetts, Connecticut, or Rhode Island. Delana Law delivers every single time. They're going to help you out with all of your real estate needs. It's delanalaw.com. You got to check them out. Hey, welcome to the Wealth Architect podcast. I'm Emilio Despirito, and this is season 3, episode number 4. I'm so excited for this season. I'm so excited for the people we're interviewing. And this is your program all about building wealth, not only financially, but mentally, physically, and spiritually. And we have on top-rated guests in all different industries that are going to share with us on how they do it and how you can do it too. So I hope you enjoy this program. And we've got an awesome guest today. We have Felicia Emond with ADP. ADP is the largest payroll company in the country. They have the most amount of data on employees, on businesses, on, pretty much the economy than most people do. And what I love about them, when you're tied in, when you're working with them, they can help you in a number of ways. And Felicia is going to talk about that today. But before we get her on, I want to let you know, one of the things that I want to hit home with today is with our business owners that are listening to this that currently have 1099 contractors who are operating in almost ways of employees, and they're at that stage where they're ready to grow their company. They might need to take these people on as employees. So we're going to talk about what to do if you have 1099 type of staff. They're not supposed to be staff, but what to do with that and really how to make the transition or how to cover your rear. So this is going to be a great topic. We're going to talk about that and so much more. Felicia, welcome.
Excited. Yeah, thank you for having me. I'm so excited to be here, Emilio.
Great to have you too. So first off, you and your husband, Ben, just had a baby not too long ago.
We did.
That's great.
We did. She came a couple days early. Ooh, that pregnancy was crazy.
Yeah.
She took me out of that a couple days early. But yeah, she was born June 1st.
Congratulations.
Thank you. 8 months as of Sunday. So we're very excited.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Thank you.
So, family is super important. And it's, I'm sure, one of the drivers of what you do. And Felicia, super humble lady, but she has been in President's Club at ADP 4 out of the past 5 years.
5 years in a row consecutively.
5 years in a row.
Yeah, so it'll be, I've been with ADP since 2017 in Small Business Division.
Wow.
Yeah, really, really exciting.
So 5 years in a row, she hit the top 1% in her, of the whole company, which is absolutely huge. So I want you to know that this advice is coming from somebody that has worked with a number of businesses in a number of different industries and really knows her stuff. So let's dive right into it. You're welcome.
Yeah.
Felicia, right? We were talking about a lot of companies, especially like our listeners, right? A lot of them are investors,
small businesses, investing, franchisees, all different types of businesses like that. And you spoke right at the beginning about growth. That's the number one thing I talk to my clients about. So I'm super happy you led with that.
Good.
Yeah.
Well, so I think the first thing we should unpack here is if somebody has 1099 staff, they need to be very careful. Right?
Yes.
Can you talk about that?
Yeah. So the biggest thing as far as 1099s, W-2s, is the IRS can really come after you for just a number of things, even if you have someone being paid as a contractor and they're doing most contractor work. But if there's one piece of that work that they're doing that could be W-2, they can get you for it.
Let's talk about that. What is
Yeah.
that list of stuff that a contractor cannot do?
So contractors have to do everything that's under their name, whether it's their Fed ID, name of a contracting business that they own, anything under like their personal social, stuff like that. So if you are, I'll just use like a cleaning business because this is really popular for cleaning businesses. And I'm working with actually a handful of cleaning businesses right now that are dealing with this. If you hire on any sort of 1099 subcontractors to work with you and they are using anything that has the business sponsored name on it, if they're being provided any type of tools by the company, if they're driving a vehicle that's even covered under insurance for the company, that right there knocks it out. They're not 1099 contractors. Those are W-2 employees working for you. Yeah.
Wow. So they can't even drive the company car around.
No, because then as far as that, then it gets into like insurance claims, stuff like that.
Wow.
Workers' compensation is a big piece of that. Taxes, income tax, state of Rhode Island, paying into disability, Massachusetts, paid family medical, all of those different changes that are happening. Yeah, they'll get you on it.
Give us a couple other businesses and examples of where people are using 1099 and some of the things they need to look out for, which would kind of blur the lines in between a 1099 versus a W-2.
Home healthcare is a very big one.
Home healthcare.
So home healthcare popped off in 2020 with COVID. So those are really, really big businesses that grew from like a handful of workers, handful of 1099s, W-2s, and they just boomed. So those are really, really big ones. So home healthcare is really big.
Like hospice type of stuff, or like
it can be hospice, it could be PT, it could be anyone that might be on disability, living from their homes, having like day-to-day taken care, work, any type of that. Any type of like people living in their homes, day-to-day taken care of. So I mean, you could have hospice, you could have people on disability that might need support, help.
Sure. So what are some of those things that, could be blurring the lines if you have 1099s working for you?
Yeah. So as far as that goes, if they are getting payments from the people that they're taking care of and they're making payments to the company, if they're showing up in any type of car that's registered through the company, any type of like logo, if those home healthcare have logos and have different types of like professional clothing that they show up on, anything like that, anything that's tied to the company and it's not separated within those workers showing up, I mean, they'll get you right there.
So our business owners that are using 1099s right now, a lot of them might be like, oh, sure.
Yeah.
Like, all right.
Yeah.
So it's okay. Tune in. We're here to protect you and give you advice, and we're gonna work through this. And running a business is not easy. There's so many different hurdles. So we want you to be aware of this stuff.
And people that go into business, I mean, so many of my cleaning companies, my home health care, my construction, my landscape, it's something that they learned from a really, really young age, or something they bought over from their parents, or something that they've seen mentors do, and they take over that, and they don't come into business with a HR hat on, and they don't do bookkeeping and tax filing and stuff. That's where you hire other people to do that for you, or hire, third-party companies like ADP. To come in and do that. So usually those conversations I'm having with those business owners, it's more of like didn't know about that, kind of light bulb goes off. The nice thing is, as far as like ADP, we're able to take care of you on that. We work with CPAs, we work with bookkeepers, tax preparers, accountants, financial advisors. So if you're working with someone that's been in the industry, just as long as I have, or anyone local that you're able to partner with.
It's a full team approach, which is huge.
Totally.
And Felicia Emond, you can Felicia Emond ADP, you can Google her, and you
Look
can
me up on LinkedIn.
Reach right out there. Follow her on LinkedIn if you want to get into any kind of detailed conversation with her. This is what she does. So Felicia, all right. So we talked about that, and I guess in general, what I'm hearing is if you're supplying like computers, if you're supplying any type of equipment, they're technically an employee.
Those are W-2. Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. So like businesses I'll sit down with, they're like, oh, do you actually work for ADP, or are you contracted out? Like, no, I am an employee by ADP.
You're a W-2.
I'm a W-2. Just got it last week from ADP
Wow.
for the last year. So anything that's owned by the company that's being given to your workers, that's like a big no, not 1099,
Mhm.
1099 W-2.
So, all right. So let's talk about it. Why do so many businesses defer from, I mean, I think I know the answers, but there might be some stuff that you're going to share here. What is it where so many businesses, they want to go with subcontractors versus employees? And why are they willing to take this risk?
Yeah. They don't want to pay the taxes is the
It's
first thing.
employment
It's
taxes.
employment taxes. I mean, now with a lot of the legislation coming up from the federal government, ways as far like helping tipped employees and stuff like that, and the One Big Beautiful Bill Act with President Trump. I mean, a lot of that is changing, which is really good.
It's more business friendly.
It's more business friendly. It's
And
more
blue collar friendly.
well, it's not even that too. It's putting money back into the business owners' pockets because when you own a business, everything's expensive. I mean, something could sound so great, you're ready to do it, but the thing is, like, what's the bottom line? What's it going to cost me and cost the company?
A lot.
Yeah, a lot.
Everything.
And yeah, taxes are not fun, but it's not even that too. It's giving money back to the employees. I mean, we're seeing it right now as far as like in the real estate realm. People wanting to go out, not own their own properties, own their own homes, not being able to rent. Like that's a big piece of it too.
Let's unpack that there for a second because no one else that we talked with as a guest talked about that yet. In the Big Beautiful Bill, it has it where the tips are tax free, I believe.
Yeah.
And now, so here's the deal,
Which is huge.
I want
it's
you
huge.
to understand why I think this is so huge. I want to hear your take on it. Right?
Yeah.
And as a real estate advisor, if I have people that are in hospitality that previously could not get qualified for a home because they weren't claiming their tips, right? Or they didn't want to pay tax. Now they're claiming all of their tips. And there's some people that work in restaurants like the Capitol Grill or fancy places.
Me included. I mean, I worked my summers in Newport. I mean, I'm in my
thousands.
30s. I worked in the restaurant industry since I was 14 years old.
Making thousands.
Oh,
in
are you
tips.
kidding me? Like I could, yeah, it's insane.
Crazy. So
Yeah.
now that's going to bring a whole pool of buyers who were previously priced couldn't get into the market
Yeah.
because technically they didn't make enough on paper.
Yeah.
Think about
It
the
brings-
impact and the ripples in the economy.
It brings a lot of people too that have been wanting to save up and, hey, I can do this for myself. I can own my own business. I can do this. Now they're going to have the capital and the money to actually go out there and start their own companies. It's huge.
I'm sure ADP has this data. You might not in your head. Like,
Yeah.
do you know how many workers are in the hospitality industry in the country? There's got to be
As far
few
as like,
million.
I mean,
Several
just seeing
million.
the jump in the last 6 years. I mean, I was working with hospitality companies that were maybe 10 to 15 employees within like the Rhode Island, Massachusetts, workforce into now hundreds.
I believe it's millions of people. So,
Oh, I believe it.
and out of them, even if 25% can now come to market for loans, not only to buy homes, but for loans for their businesses.
Oh, and
for
to go to
anything else,
school
or-
and go to business school and get and not even that, you have to have certain types of certifications to go into business like that, whether it's going back to school, getting certain type of certifications.
17 million. 10%
I
of
mean,
the
as-
American workforce is in hospitality.
As far as it goes, when I'm sitting down with those type of companies, I mean, it's not even like, oh, how do I get my payroll taxes set up? How do I pay my people? It's like, how do I protect my people?
Yeah.
How do I have different types of benefits? What are the type of benefits I can offer? As far as handbooks go, when I started my company 5-10 years ago, I just wrote it and, put a bunch of, ideas to
Handbooks.
paper.
Yeah.
And it's crazy, So, I mean, as far as it goes with ADP, we have SHRM certified professionals that are employed by ADP that we partner with from the sales side to do that for our clients and center of influences. So.
That's so valuable because when you're a business person, like most business people are, I would say they're kind of fall in line with like my characteristics.
Yeah.
Right? Like if you've ever done the DISC profile, have you ever done that?
No.
Okay, so the DISC profile, and if you're listening to this, if you haven't done the DISC profile, check it out. It's a personality assessment or characteristic assessment. Okay.
Yeah, a long time ago. I did that in
So,
one of my marketing
You're a high
classes.
I all day. You are a high I. You're very gregarious. You're outgoing. You're a people
you.
person. You want to ask people about their family, about this and that. You want to talk, tell
Yeah.
stories, listen to
Yeah.
stuff. That's a really good person, right? They're all really good people, but that's like a really good person for business or for
Yeah.
sales.
Yeah.
But then you have the high D personalities. Those are the drivers. Those are the people that just like get it done, right? Like get out of my way. We're getting this done.
They're willing to do like the grit and put in the hard work to make it happen.
Yeah, but they don't pay attention to the details. They're very bottom line. That's me, right? Like that's why you got to build out a team of people behind you. And a lot of our business owners listen to us like, yeah, that's me. I'm a high D all day, right?
Yeah.
And then you have your S and C, which are more analytical. And these people are so damn necessary in business.
Yeah.
So important.
I mean, those are like your tax accountants, your advisors, your preparers.
But they're not the drivers.
No.
Okay.
Those are like the people that are in like the back of
they're
the
introverted.
Operations. Yeah. They don't even want to be forefront. They're doing behind the scenes kind of stuff. Yeah.
So the best businesses have a mix of both. They have the visionary, who usually is the high I, high D, or the mix of that, okay? And then they have the oh, come on, it came from a book, and I'm trying to think. The visionary, and then the innovator, not the innovator, oh man, I know our listeners are like, I know that. They're saying it out loud.
Yeah. I know what you're talking about. As far as it goes, like when I first started in the company, I mean, they have us do like a test like that. Yeah. So like for me, mine was like an educator, educator presenter, educator, working with everybody as far as it goes. With
and there's a ton of different personality
training,
tests,
development,
right?
all that. Yeah.
All right. So really, what I want to drive home here though is that if you're a visionary, if you're somebody that's like bottom line, like, look, I got this business, I got it rolling, we got sales coming in, but you have no handbook, you have no policies, you have none of that stuff. You need an integrator, and instead of having to hire out for all of that, this is where a solution like ADP might make sense for you.
Well, a lot of businesses too, coming out of 2020 with COVID and inflation and the cost and, salary and, benefits driven, and things are so much more expensive than they used to be too. You know what I mean? So one of the areas that a lot of businesses didn't want to spend the money and time on was interviewing, hiring someone, because you're looking at someone that, would come in, do the HR, stuff like that. I mean, I think in 2018, it cost maybe $80,000 to hire someone on a salary.
Wow.
Coming out of COVID, I mean, it hit like 120, 130.
Wow.
I mean, I was sitting down with business owners that are like, we're spending over 6 figures just hiring someone to come in and do this, or like hiring a third-party firm, and it's so expensive. Where can ADP come in with that? And I mean, we have HR business partners that live and work locally that partner with us in our sales teams, and they come in and they do this, and they do the hand-holding for these business owners. It's all included, yeah.
All right.
So, I mean, you're looking at something that would have cost you well over 6 figures to maybe 30, 40,000 for the year.
Wow.
And that's not just including that. It's including ADP coming in, doing, the HR analysis, payroll. You get like a person who, has access to the payroll. You're not calling into a 1-800 number. I mean, that's when you're getting into like talking about comprehensive services, professional employer organization models. I mean, that's like for someone who's like, I see the value in all of this, and I see what ADP can do for my company. I'm going to have them handle me.
All right. So at what point, like how many people should, or what like level of production, or like what is the metrics to understand who might be fit for that level of service?
So we're looking at like your manufacturer businesses. We're looking at very integrated benefit analysis types of companies. I mean, home healthcare can fall into that. Any type of manufacturer, white collar business. Yeah. You can also have, I mean, it is a mutual evaluation. The business has to value ADP. ADP has an underwriting team that evaluates the business.
Yep.
So not like super big blue collar companies, just because that's when a lot of risk with workers' comp and mod rates are really high and stuff like that. And ADP is just willing to not put them in the pool to respect of obviously all the other businesses throughout the country that's in that pool. But it's a really, really interesting conversation when you're going from just starting the company, like, hey, like what do these tax and figures look like, to like, hey, want to have benefits. I see the value in human resources. I see the value in ADP as a third-party company, protecting my business and, working with my tax preparer, my accountant, my CPA. I mean, I'm just for this to cover my own bases, I'm not HR certified. I don't have my SHRM certification. I'm strictly sales with ADP. Yeah. But coming from experience in almost the last 10 years, I mean, these are the conversations I'm having day in and day out with small business owners.
That. Yeah. All right. So let's talk about, a lot of small business owners out there, a lot of entrepreneurs listening to this, and they like to keep costs down to a minimum, obviously.
Of
And a lot
course.
of them are running lean, right? They're using guerrilla warfare. And what that means is they're literally in the bushes, right? Throwing rocks and sticks at their competitors while their competitors can afford the bazookas.
Yeah.
Okay. So
Uh-huh.
for someone coming up, they have a business. They got a few people working for them that are all 1099, right? We learned a little bit earlier on in the podcast about some things that would actually make those people an employee, and be careful of that. But at
Yeah.
what point, like, what is too small of a company to help, like for you to help? Like,
So no company is too small. So like that's the biggest question I get, especially in our networking that you and I do together in our
yeah,
groups and our, similar type of, business advisory, groups that we're a part of. No business is too small. I'm strictly small business. So I'm focusing on the small guys. So anyone, that listens to this podcast, just getting into business, you're starting to figure it out. I mean, those are the right people for me. I mean, of course, ADP, we're so large, I have
you
partners
can
that can help
refer
the
them to
larger.
somebody.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
I have partners that I work with, that handle mid-market
All
national
50
accounts.
states.
Oh, I can do all 50 states when it
What
comes
about
to
like
small business
Canada? We have
owners.
listeners in Canada. We
Yeah,
have
yeah,
listeners in Europe. Are you
yeah.
guys in Europe?
ADP's worldwide.
Wow.
So
Okay. So
I did work with a company back during COVID when we were all stuck in our homes. I did work with a company based out of the UK
wow.
with one of my national worldwide business partners. I have a
good to know.
Canadian business partner that I work with. She's fabulous. She's been with ADP just as long as I have. When you're in this for a while, you have the business partners that have been in this for a while,
That's great.
But I help anywhere from one-man businesses. So any of you one-man S corp
What about
businesses out
one-woman
there.
businesses? Do you
Oh,
help women too?
my one woman. Of course I do. Get out of here. Of course I do. Yes, us girls have to stick together. But yes, my one lady entrepreneur businesses, whether it's just owner only and they're using payroll, because you can use payroll as a tax
You can pay
break.
yourself.
Yeah, you can pay yourself as
Yeah.
a tax break. So I mean, obviously, all in good faith in what your accountant CPAs advise you to. But yeah, you can use payroll for that.
Business is not one size fits all, and I think it's so important. I find so many business people over the years cut themselves short on learning, right? And like,
Well, because they're scared to
scared.
what they're scared. Ultimately, you're starting your own business. You want to focus and hone on in why you started the company. Obviously, you're passionate about something, right? That's why you want to be in business doing it yourself. There's a lot of passion and there's a lot of self-pride in that. So not knowing kind of the risks out there, people are like, hear no evil, see no evil,
Yeah.
kind of monkey see, monkey do, and
Agreed.
that can get these businesses into trouble.
It's
Yeah.
operation overload. So people have so much going on with the operation, especially those high D, high I in the disc profile type of people. Like, I know, like, you start talking with me about
yeah.
policy and about details and about this and that. I'm like, oh, like
I have
my
somebody
team,
for that.
they all thank God for my business partner Joe Fazio, who is the integrator. Okay, and look, I could tell you real quick personally what happened when I hired an integrator. Right, when actually Joe and I are partners now. Right, like I originally hired him to manage the company, and then I was like, Joe, we need to just partner up. Right?
Yeah.
And what happened
It's a
was
smart business decision.
my real estate sales, Felicia, went from 18 million to 27 million in 1 year, 10 years ago, right? And they just blown up ever since then. Now him and I are building this empire together.
Absolutely.
All right. So for our listeners that are of that personality like mine, right? They're the drivers of the world. ADP is a solution that may be something you want to look into, because the very least, what happens, you learn something and you network with someone.
And I think that's the biggest thing too. I mean, as far as like it being in sales, sales can get a bad rap. So when
I
you're,
love being in sales.
I love being in
I'm
sales.
proud
I
to be
love-
a salesperson.
And when
But you're right.
when I sit down with these business owners, I'm like, I'm just looking to have a conversation. If this is like something that you truly want to do, I mean, obviously we can make that happen, but like, let's just have a conversation. Let's talk about the things that you do on your day to day. What are the things that you really love highlighting about your business? Where are the areas that you really need support? Could that be in business support? Could it be supporting those employees? Could it be, I mean, the biggest thing is growth. Having those conversations and not being afraid to speak about it. It's huge.
It is huge. Wow.
Yeah.
You and I, we met through BNI, Business Networking International. And
Yeah.
what's funny is I didn't realize that ADP was international. My brokerage is international. We've got Realm Global, who endorses this show, who's part of this, which is international. So there's a lot. Money it now doesn't have really so many borders. Okay. It's moving all over the world. People are moving freely all over the world for the most part, which is good. And it's important to have these networks. Let's talk a little bit about BNI, and as a business person, right?
Yeah.
Like, what is BNI, Business Networking International? What does that level of networking mean to you, and what are some of the benefits you've received from it?
I mean, when I first joined, so ADP hired me right out of college. I went to University of Rhode Island, didn't know what I want to do. I just knew I wanted to make money.
Yeah.
I got in with sales. I was an apprentice for 3 months making dials. Any way I could get out of the office.
Down for
Any way
dollars.
I'd get out of the office. And all my salespeople listening to this, they know the grit and the grind. But when I finally was hired, everyone kept talking to me, hey, you have to join networking groups. Like, Rhode Island is such a small state, and Massachusetts is right behind that. There's so much integration between, the Northeast in itself. And everyone kept saying BNI, BNI, BNI. I'm like, what is that? Like, let me look for that. So I actually came across my old BNI group through my aunt on LinkedIn, funny enough, and I ended up joining that group. But I think the biggest thing out of that was I grew my sales career with ADP, and I was able to afford buying my first home at the age of 25.
Wow, that's
And,
huge. Average first-time home buyer age is 40 years old, by the way, just for you to know. Like, so that's wild.
And
15 years fast-tracked.
Yeah. And that speaks a testament to how great ADP's been with me, and that speaks a testament to how great BNI was.
Yeah, agreed,
and I mean,
both.
I had my own sphere group within that own group, and I was able to go and, the first home buyer process can be crazy. I had no issues with it. Closing happened early, moving in happened right away. I had a whole team that helped me literally from that BNI group, from finding my first home to closing. I mean, I couldn't have asked for a better first-time home buyer experience, and I think when I sit down with business owners and we try and bring, people into the group that we do business with to show them how valuable it is. I mean, even if you're not in a BNI group, networking and getting yourself out there, I mean, anyone could go to a payroll company. Anyone could go to a real estate, advisor. Like, anyone could go to anyone, but the whole reason is, what value do you bring and where are they going to come work with you?
The worst advice you can get from somebody is not to network. If somebody shoots down, like I've had friends tell me, they told me 2 things, and they're no longer really my friends.
Yeah.
Don't go to church, don't network.
I don't agree with either of those.
Like what? Like, all right, like, you can believe in what you want, whatever. I'm never going to force my beliefs on you, but people give so much bad advice out there, and it's like,
well, I think where it comes to is they might be in such a low spot, and they might not be having success of their own.
True, yeah.
And misery loves company, right?
True.
So they don't want to see you succeed because they're not succeeding, So definitely don't take advice from people who bring you down in your life.
And truly, and our listeners here, right? If you're running a business, or if you're starting a business, or if you're thinking about going into business,
do it.
You got to do it, and follow your dream, and follow podcasts like this, and connect with people that are inspirational, that are going to lift you up. And you're going to fall down a lot of times. You're going to scratch your knees. You're going to get cut. You're going to break your face. You're going to whatever. It is rough out there. It is tough, but you need to surround yourself with people that understand the power of lifting each other up.
I think you couldn't have said it perfectly. I mean, using my sister as an example, my sister went to grad school to become a physical therapist. It's what she wanted to do. And when she she's right down the road. Yeah. And I mean, just seeing her go into business, it's her and her business partner. I mean, she just turned 29. They opened their business when she was 27 years old.
Doing great, yeah.
Yeah, she didn't want to be held down by what the hospitals were enforcing. And she was like, I can do this so much better on my own. I mean, they have over like 40, 50, mostly women, but men going to them every week. I mean, they just had to hire on a 1099, someone that she went to school with. Yeah, and she's growing. She hasn't even been in business for more than 2 years, and she's crushing it.
Amazing.
And I love it.
And I know you're keeping her 1099 compliant.
Of course. Yes. They are LLC, S Corp, the 1099. We make sure that she's all set, but yeah.
Wow, that's so amazing. And you know what? She found her real estate space through BNI, through Kenneth Dill at Cressa, also an international company.
Kenneth's fabulous.
He is fantastic. Shout out to Kenneth.
Yeah, shout out to Kenneth. Kenneth, if you're watching this, shout out to you.
Yeah. So I mean, I think that's so unbelievable. Let's talk about some of the other things that happen when you're out, when you're networking, when you're religiously meeting with people every single week in front of people. Like, what are some of
Yeah.
the intrinsic values that you may not realize that come from that?
Like as far as it is like being in business or like personal values? Because I feel
Like
like such a
all
mix.
of it. Yeah. So see that people, let's talk about the personal values
Yeah.
because people might
I
not
mean,
realize.
I have clients that are like calling me. I had 2 clients call me today that I've been in business with for the last couple of years saying like, hey, Felicia, you know, so many different people in the networking sphere, like who can help us with this? You know,
Mhm.
do you have a person for this? You
Do you
know?
have somebody that repairs
Yeah.
cars? Do you have somebody that
And
does marketing? Do
the
you have,
best is when you get to refer other clients I work with to other clients that I work
yes,
with and just
yes,
seeing that. I mean, like there's nothing better than that, you know? It's like a feel good moment.
absolutely. What
Yeah.
else?
I work with a lot of immigrant businesses,
Yeah, I bet.
which I
Yeah.
love because my dad immigrated here when he was a couple years old from
Wow.
Portugal. So I learn a
Portugal's a
lot.
beautiful
Yeah,
country.
thank you.
Shout out to the Portuguese,
Shout out to the
man.
Portuguese. We know
Yeah,
what's going on. We run things.
great
No,
spot.
the Italians too. We'll give it up to the
Oh, of
Italians. Of
course.
course, we got
Yeah.
to go to the Italians. I learned so much from these business owners, and I'm able to share so much being a firstborn generation American on my dad's side of the
Mhm.
family and being able to see how hard these people work, come here, you know, to have the life that they always wanted for their family.
Mhm.
And those are a lot of businesses that I learn a lot from. I mean, I joke about it all the time. I would love to own my own business. I'm just so passionate about so many things. I don't know what I would want to do. So I mean, we'll figure that out when we get to it. But yeah, just learning so much about the smart business decisions, being in business with people you trust and who you know.
How about public speaking?
Oh, I love it. Yeah.
Right? Like,
You want to know what's so funny too?
what's that?
I originally went to college for marine biology. Obviously, I
Wow.
did. It's like a millennial thing. I think all of like the mid to younger millennials just before the Gen Z cutoff, because I talked to so many people about this and they're, you
You
know,
guys like
early
think you're
to mid 30s.
fishes. You don't even know what
I
you
grew
are.
up on the
Like,
ocean being in Rhode Island, right? I'm like, yeah,
I'm a millennial. I
I
can
want to
say
learn.
that.
Yeah, it's like a millennial thing.
Yeah.
Everyone wants to be a marine biologist. So that didn't last long. And I remember telling my friends and my family, I'm like, I would rather put a presentation together, speak in a couple hundred people in front of a couple hundred people in my college, you know, business.
Yes.
And I'd rather just do that than ask me to take an exam because I cannot sit still.
Oh,
The
same.
OCD, ADD in me, like I cannot sit still and look at pen and paper. Like I have to be up, moving, thinking, speaking out loud, writing things down. Like I'm a very visual, tactile person.
Yeah.
So I would put me in front. I will go speak. You know,
That's so you. Yeah.
the number one fear in people isn't death, it's public speaking,
Agreed,
which
yeah.
is wild.
Yeah.
That's wild to me.
It is, right?
But I mean, and then like, and people in our BNI and our networking group that we do business with, I mean, seeing them
Oh, yeah.
start from being so terrified to speak in a room of 15, 25 individuals and solicit their business.
That's the
solicit
most
their business.
important skill to have. Interpersonal skills is
And
the
we
most
talk about it
important
every
thing.
week. I mean,
Yeah.
we have our BNI group is BNI Diamond, and we have a diamond, you know, to highlight who did like the best 60 seconds or
Yeah.
best, you know, in the group of the week, and being able to give it to the people that have come such a long way, even in a matter of months.
Yes, absolutely.
I love it.
You know what I love? I love how you didn't get phased when I said that you
Oh,
and some
yeah.
of the younger millennials identify as fishes. Did you even hear that?
You know, we
Like,
do.
I'm just
we
messing. I
do.
love our
For
millennials.
any
I'm a
of-
millennial.
I'm a younger millennial. I'm on the 95, so they like
Yeah.
to group me in with Gen Z.
Oh yeah, no,
I'm a
no,
Gen.
no.
I'm a zillennial. I don't know.
I've noticed something though about Gen Z, right? And there's a
Yeah.
lot of people in Gen Z, a lot of kids that are ready to hustle.
A lot of free thinkers.
A lot
too.
of free thinkers. A lot
Yeah.
so, like that's and I noticed that they have a little bit more of a conservative mindset
They
as
do.
far as we're not bringing it there. So hold your horses, people. But I mean,
We're just talking specifics, everybody.
I noticed that they want more of the traditional kind of format of life, and I'm just seeing
and
that.
the Gen Z population, there's so much of that population that doesn't want to socially drink and have alcoholic tendencies
A lot of
either.
pluses there,
That
yeah.
I'm seeing with that. Yeah.
Although I seen something interesting, we got to jump in a second, but I
Yeah.
seen something interesting that said, hey, you know what? Well, it's good to not drink. However, think about all the socializing you did when you did. So
Yeah.
as long as they're filling that with other social activities, because people
Yeah.
need to get out there and get integrated. And
Oh,
that's
yeah.
another thing about B&I. It forces people to get together. You're accountable. You're there every single week. You're
Yeah.
networking, you're talking, you're public speaking.
You're meeting people and you're just sharing thoughts and
Yeah.
ideas and just benefiting from the group in general.
So if you're Gen Z and you're listening to this and you don't have a lot of friends that are like really doing anything, right? I remember going through this when I was younger. A lot of my friends would just, they wouldn't do anything. They would just sit around. Like, get out there with people that are, right? Get out there with people that are. Join a BNI. Go check a BNI out. But
yeah, strengthen your network, not for network purposes, but for personal purposes too.
there's nothing I love more than people of all ages, right? Of all walks of life, just really going after what they want and what they love. So keep going at it, people. Thank you so much for tuning into the Wealth Architect podcast. Felicia, you're awesome. You were a great guest. A lot of great information.
So fun.
Felicia Emond, ADP. Go ahead, Google her. I'm sure page will come up
Find
as
me.
well.
You'll see me.
Good stuff. Hey, stay tuned. We got some great guests coming up here on the Wealth Architect podcast. We'll be right back in a moment. Have you ever heard of upfront underwriting? Well, I haven't until I started working with Movement Mortgage. Movement Mortgage is one of the top loan originators around the country. Specifically, I want to give a thank you to Matt Bates. And if you're lucky enough to live in Rhode Island, Massachusetts, Connecticut, or New Hampshire, I strongly suggest you contact Matt Bates at rimortgageguy.com. Again, rimortgageguy.com. And he's going to help you to find that dream home. He does upfront underwriting, which means they fully approve you for a mortgage before you even place offers, increasing your chances of winning that dream home. rimortgageguy.com. Hey, welcome back to the Wealth Architect podcast, episode 14, episode 4, season 3. And we've got some really great guests on here with us today. Now, as you may know, if you've been tuning in here, I'm part of Realm Global, which is a collaboration of the top real estate agents across the United States and beyond. I'm talking some of the best people in the business, some brilliant minds, some wonderful people. And we've got 2 of them on here with us today. So we have Amy Byrne. Did I say your last name correct?
It's Byrne, but close.
Byrne. Okay. All right. Well, I've done worse before. Amy Byrne. Okay. And we have Andy Bovender. Right? Did I say that correct, Andy?
Yeah. That's perfect.
All right. Awesome. And they're coming out of the Carolinas, and they're with Compass. And they've just recently had an expansion. We're going to talk with them about that. But they are 2 top performing individuals that have collaborated together. So without further ado, I wanted to introduce both of you. Welcome to the Wealth Architect.
Thank you.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah, we're excited to have you. So tell me a little bit, give us a little bit about your background, what markets you're in, a little bit about your specialties in the business. We'll start with ladies first. We'll start with you, Amy.
Hey there. Amy Byrne. I co-founded Compass in Charleston with Andy Bovender. I grew up in real estate, so it's always been a natural fit for me. And we lead a large team across North and South Carolina, but I specifically live and work full-time in Charleston and lead a group of 9 agents.
Wow, that's great. So you've been in the business a while and you're doing a ton of production, or else there's no way you'd be part of Realm and a part of the network, and Compass too. Compass is a company which hires producers, which I love. I love that about Compass. Amy, appreciate that. And now we have Andy. And Andy, you were just telling me before we started this that you guys are all over the Carolinas with 6, I think you're in 6 marketplaces, right?
Yeah, we're in 6 different markets across the Carolinas. Most South Carolina, a little bit of North. Can name those off at some point, but we love to expand. We love to grow. So if we see an opportunity, we're there.
Let's talk about like expansion, right? Because I know a lot of business owners, a lot of people listening to this show, whether they're in real estate, they own a construction company, they're builders, they're investors, whatever it is, everybody has that growth mindset, right? But how important is collaboration, and how important is growing with the right type of people? And what does that look like for you?
I would probably say, Emilio, that collaboration is everything for us. Before we ever came to Compass, we were big collaborators. So we would travel the country to meet with other like-minded teams that were open books. We wanted to learn from them. We wanted to share what's worked, what hasn't worked for us. And that especially is important in going into new markets, because it's a whole different game than you working your sphere of influence and taking all those years to build such a strong business. We have to do it on a much faster pace. So the collaboration is everything. And that's actually kind of how me and Amy first came together, was collaboration on us expanding there. And it's kind of, as Amy mentioned, 9 agents. The team there is the number 1 team in Charleston for its size in 3.5 years. So it's grown really quick, a lot to do with Amy's leadership there. But collaboration is the key for anything and everything we do.
Well, that's amazing. So let's talk about this. Let's talk about, how are you collaborating and how are you benefiting and leveraging Realm Global? Amy, can you take that?
Oh, absolutely. So first of all, I will say Andy is one of the most humble people that I've ever met. Andy leads in total a team of 45 agents. And last year we surpassed 300 million in sales. So there's
That's
so much.
huge.
It's
Congrats.
huge. And it's not without the collaboration piece. Realm was a key network that we knew we needed to join because, we love our Compass partners, but Compass isn't everywhere. And Compass, at the time we joined, wasn't international or global. So joining Realm really opened a lot of new doors for us and put us right here in this room with you too, which is just an amazing opportunity.
Thank you. It's everything. And you know what? We got the in-person events too, which I've been to a couple of them, but I haven't been to that major in-person event yet. I really look forward to going to the next one. But I mean, there's something to be said when you are in a room full of high producing, top tier people and professionals from all walks of life. I mean, there's nothing but upside there. I can tell you, even if I get no referral from this referral group of people, the wisdom and just the overall benefits of communicating and working with and learning from people like yourselves is really so inspiring. Andy, let's get back into the expansion, right? Let's talk about what are some of like the things that happen when you're expanding a company, when you're starting to blow up. Like, what are some of those growing pains? Can we talk about those?
Yes. And of course, there's a lot of them. We've been through many, but I would say the biggest, I don't want to say stumbling block, but the biggest tip for that expansion to work well is finding incredible leadership. Leadership has to be involved, and there's only so many places that I can get to on a regular basis. Either I'm traveling to collaborate like with you, coming up to Rhode Island, learning everything I can about you and your team. But I still need leadership to continue to grow and keep the progress going, keep us moving forward. And that means a lot of hands-on time between me and Amy and Charleston, as an example. We would talk multiple times a day. I mean, it could be 5-10 times a day, just talking about the why we do this and why we do that. All things that she knows, but just syncing up since we're both leaders in that market and leaders across the team. So expansion's awesome. The downsides of it are if there's lack of leadership or the partner that you have that you're expanding around is not of leadership quality, it's going to be a little bit more of a challenge. So that's probably my biggest tip is find that right leader that can partner with you to really grow it.
How are you finding that right leader? Do you have a method? Do you use the disc profile? Do you use like what is that? What type of, because you guys have been very successful, right? You wouldn't be doing the numbers you're doing. You wouldn't be adding the wonderful people you're adding. You wouldn't be part of this network. So what are you doing to really make sure you're finding the right people and hiring them?
I'll tell you, ours was a little bit of skill and a little bit of luck when we came across Amy down at Charleston, as we put feelers out, Emilio, to paralegals and lenders. We wanted to talk to them because they're the ones who are dealing with the agents. We want problem solver agents. We want people that get to the finish line. And the lenders and paralegals know who are the difficult ones, and they know who are the problem solving type of agents. So that's how we do the intro of who we think would be a great consideration. Beyond that, Emilio, it's all about the existing culture that we already have. You know, we're a yes team. Everybody on the team says yes. It doesn't matter what the question is. It's just say yes. Just like the movie with John Kerry, we're all yes people. We love helping each other. So we go for hard work, love to help each other, being a yes person. And then with the lenders and the paralegals help on who is more of a confrontational type of agent. That's not going to match our style. That to me doesn't match. That's not a good leadership quality anyway. So to me, that's been our secret to success, is the avenue to reach out to proven agents that are excited, and then them meshing in well to that culture that's already let's give and take care of each other.
When you really boil it down, right, there's so very few people that are going to fit that mold, which I think makes what you're doing exceptional. And I think it's hard when you're a business owner, when you have the wrong people on the bus. Sometimes it's just moving them to a different seat on the bus. But when you have to say, hey, here's your stop, you got to get off. What does that conversation look like? And how long do you let something stay before you got to let it go? Either one of you.
It actually was prior to real estate. I worked in hospitality, and I traveled the country to hire, fire, train teams all over the United States. I would say that we have such a thorough process of hiring. We rarely get to the point of having to let someone go. And we've developed a system of nurturing, touching base regularly, staying on top of our agents, but also dividing and conquering as a leadership team, so that we can suss out potential issues before they really become, big drama within the team. So it really is like such a laid back, fun, family style atmosphere that Andy's been able to create. But I know that wasn't easy. I mean, Andy has been a team leader for 25 years. And if you ask me what the key to that success would be in forming a team that operates like ours, is I really think it's a leadership team that is extremely well connected. So Andy has no problem sharing the spotlight and putting his leaders on a pedestal to really own and make decisions in their markets.
It's great. It's a great leader right there. So, before we jump off, I'm curious, what does your leadership structure look like?
So we have market leaders. So you've got team leaders. We've got 5 total team leaders. We've got one that runs all of the staff. And then we've got 4 agents across the markets that run different markets, agents that have been with us a while that have natural leadership qualities. So that does work out pretty well. If the communication lines are very clear between leaders, we can pick up on things, little red flags within an agent, and slowly mold them the way we need them.
We all need guidance.
Yeah, and if we mold them and they just don't acclimate to the culture, they tend to stand out themselves. So our hierarchy, hierarchy is not the right word. We're all team leaders. I oversee the sales team and the ops team, but I sometimes start leaning more towards the ops team, because I believe the ops is the foundation of what the team is built on. So if you want to build a big skyscraper, you got to have a great foundation.
That's right.
So I'm working with the support staff most of the time. And then Amy runs our Charleston team, Kristen runs our Wilmington team, and it goes right on down the line.
And Andy, I don't know if you mentioned, but we have 9 full-time support that don't sell within the team.
Wow, that's beautiful. And you need that support. I mean, I think so. So I've been running a team here in Rhode Island for, 2013 I started, right? So a hot minute, okay? It's so different what you could do as a team versus what solo agents do. I mean, you see solo agents just dropping the ball, and nothing against solo agents. There's a lot of them that are great out there, but once you employ a team, a whole process, systems, like what's coming up, what you need to do. And we've boiled it down where our advisors do like 10-15% of the transaction, and all of it is all the heavy lifting. It's all the shaking hands, meeting with people, marketing, making sure the marketing is just right, pricing, negotiations. But so much of the other stuff can be handed, I don't want to say handed off, but delegated to mostly in-house. And I would imagine that your ops, it sounds like you have that type of solution for your agents that you're pulling in and working with too, right?
Yeah, we are definitely structured where we're a big support team. So we want to take everything off your plate so you can go be the most amazing relationship guy, because the sales team is all about relationships. Support team is take things off their plate that they do not need to be doing so that they can be great at the rest of it. And that's really me and Amy's role, is to make sure the agents are actually out there being rainmakers, building their business, putting in the work. So yeah, we're big support people. We believe in huge support.
And I would imagine that your team, you take on a ton of listings. You're probably a listing focused team, right? So I'm curious, 2026, okay, where do you think where do you think agents should be spending the most amount of their time working in this business? What area, what lead source, what type of thing, what is the absolute best opportunity in 2026 to be getting listings?
I'll go first, and it's probably not the answer that everybody wants to hear, but we focus just heavily on our personal sphere and making relationships and being those people that our clients just come back to time and time again. And we could do an entirely different podcast on the program that our team has developed called the GSD program. Andy, I'll let you mention that.
Yeah, I was going to
I already know what it stands for.
There you go. Well, it is exactly that. It's about doing the work, and it's all the fundamentals. It's everything that we know is proven to work, whether that's open houses, whether it's face-to-face, apartment complex events, corporate calling, things that are guaranteed. We have a program where the agents have to be a part of it. They have to do the work. We reward
accountability.
Yeah, so it creates we want them to be great at that. We don't want them chasing shiny objects that they think will be the next big thing. So that's probably our biggest secret to keeping our agents successful, keep them focused on the right things. And then it also makes it easier for leadership to coach them, because it's always on these 7 areas that we want them to be masters at.
Wow, that's fantastic. Good stuff. I feel like I know I could go back and forth with you guys and talk for several hours, if not days, on all of this. I know that you're doing all of the right things down there in the Carolinas, and I appreciate you being referral partners for us here and being part of Realm Global. Thank you so much. And if anybody listening has any questions, number one, we suggest you follow them both on social media. We'll tag them in our videos and our content, but also feel free to reach out to these folks. They're a wealth of knowledge in not only real estate, but in business and all other aspects as well. So we've got Amy Burns and Andy Bovender of the Bovender team at Compass. We appreciate you both so much. Thanks for coming on The Wealth Architect.
Thank you.
Thanks, Emilio. Appreciate us.
You're welcome. Thank you, guys. All right, we had such a great episode today. I love learning from different people, different businesses, different industries, and it's the most exciting thing about this program. I hope that you got a lot out of it too. I'm inviting you to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Make sure you're tuning in and subscribe to Spotify, SoundCloud, Apple Podcasts, and check us out as well on iHeartRadio. If you're in any one of the markets listening today, any of these platforms, Instagram, wherever, hey, we appreciate you. We love you. We're glad that you're a wealth architect and that you're looking to build a better life. So do that with us, and make sure to check out our website too, Wealth Architect Podcast. Check us out, and we'll see you next week here. God bless you. Thank you so much. We'll see you then.